Do you believe in God?
Do you believe that there is a God?
We believe that he was one of the mightiest messengers of Almighty God. We believe that he was the Messiah, translated Christ. We believe that he was born miraculously without any male intervention, which many modern day Christians do not believe. We believe that he gave life to the dead with God's permission. We believe he healed those born blind and lepers with God's permission.
Let's come to this. Before we handle God, let's handle belief first. Why do you believe something? One believes something because they are not sincere enough to admit that they do not know.
I do not believe in believing. That has to be understood first. Nobody asks me, do you believe in the sun? Do you believe in the moon? Nobody asks me that question. Millions of people I have met, and for 30 years continuously I have answered thousands of questions. Nobody asks me, do you believe in the rose flower?
Because they do not understand the immensity of I do not know. I do not know is a tremendous possibility. Only if you see I do not know, the possibility of knowing arises within you. There are only two ways to be. Either you know something or you do not know something. But whatever you do not know, when you bullshit yourself, it's called as belief. Instead of simply admitting I do not know, you want to believe something. Somebody believes there is God, somebody believes there is no God. Both are in the same boat. They think they are different, but both of them are not straight enough to admit that they do not know. If you see I do not know, the longing to know will come. If the longing comes, seeking will come. If seeking comes, the possibility is alive in your life. Everything that you do not know, if you believe, you're destroying the very possibility of knowing.
तो भगवान मानने की चीज है, मानो वो अपने आप जना देंगे वो कहाँ है।
मानो मत, अगर जानना है, जानने का पहला कदम है मानने से मुक्त हो जाना।
मैं अधिकतर नास्तिक लोगों को आप देखिए, उनको अगर पूछे ना भगवान को मानते हैं तो उनके पास एग्जैक्ट रीजंस नहीं होते कि क्यों नहीं मानते। बस नहीं है, दिखा नहीं, मुझे नहीं दिखा तो नहीं है।
थोड़ा उल्टा लगेगा, थोड़ा बेबूझ लगेगा, तो मेरी भी मजबूरी, मैं सत्य को वैसा ही कहने को मजबूर हूं जैसा है। अगर तुम सच में नास्तिक हो जाओ तो शायद कभी तुम आस्तिक भी हो सकते हो। नास्तिकता और आस्तिकता में विरोध नहीं। नास्तिकता सीढ़ी है, प्राथमिक सीढ़ी है आस्तिक होने के लिए।
All the fight in the world is between one man's belief versus another man's belief. If you saw, I really do not know, you wouldn't fight with anybody. Because you believe one thing and somebody believes something else, you're invariably going to fight today or tomorrow. It's just a question if you can manage them for some time. Someday it'll spill out on the street. There was a time when people worked with the instrument of belief, when the human intellect was in a certain way. Today it is time there is substantial intellect on the planet. Today it is time that we establish a certain level of seeking in a human being, rather than just pumping him up with belief. The fight in the world is not between good and evil, it is just one man's belief versus another man's belief, isn't it? Now, this many people believe my story, this many people believe somebody else's story. Can you stop these people fighting after some time? Initially they will say bye-bye. Initially they say we are all brothers, we are together, this, that. But tomorrow, when these people insist our story is right, and these people also insist our story is the real reality, can you stop them from fighting? Anyway they will fight. Please understand, all the fight in the world is just one man's belief versus another man's belief. Simply because they believe things that they do not know. So you just believe something that somebody told you, it quells you, it puts you to sleep, but it doesn't get any it doesn't get you any closer to reality as such, isn't it? Just makes you believe one more story. Now, these stories, very entertaining, culturally rich, but if you're looking for enlightenment, if you're looking for liberation, if you're looking for going beyond your limitations, they are of no consequence. If you're just looking for color, if you're just looking how to decorate your life, then culture is useful. So let's not destroy the culture, let's enjoy the culture, but don't go by the stories. Don't believe or disbelieve the story, just enjoy the story, isn't it? So right now, in some way you're entangled. Now if you ask me how to go beyond this, instead of asking why creation, if you ask how to transcend creation, now I have a way, I have a method, I have a clear-cut path as to how to go beyond this. But if you ask me why, I can only tell you a story. Even if the story is true, still in your experience it is just a story, isn't it? Yes? Even if the story that I am telling is actually true, as far as your experience goes, it is just another story. If it appeals to your mind, you will believe it. If it does not appeal to your mind, you will not believe it. So, stories won't transform people. You believe God to be a demon and demon to be a god, it makes no difference because after all it's just your belief.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. You were speaking against belief system yesterday, but someone who believes in a particular god may have a wonderful experience of life because of that belief. How is this any different from someone experiencing life wonderfully because of a deity created as a yantra?
So because you believe something, when you believe something, it brings you lot of confidence. That's the reason why we believe. Well, we started with believing God. These days it's become fashionable to say, I believe in myself. I don't know what that means. How can you believe in yourself? No, I believe in myself. All you're trying to do is confidence-boosting exercise. Confidence is a dangerous damn thing. Most stupid things in the world are done because somebody is confident without any clarity about it. Most idiotic and disastrous things are done by people who have confidence without clarity. And they're usually believers. Either they believe in that or this or that or something. Essentially, belief means you're fundamentally dishonest. You're not willing to see, I do not know. Well, somebody believes and their life is wonderful, their life may be wonderful because they're devoted to something. It may be a deity, it may be the temple. Usually devotees are not really doing much with the deity. They're sweeping the temple, they're cleaning the temple, they're washing this and that, they're washing vessels in the temple, and it all feels wonderful because they're devoted. It is like, someone has a child, little baby, oh, they're so devoted to this little child. Everything is beautiful, changing the diaper is beautiful, wiping the shit is beautiful, everything is beautiful. Yes, it is. Not because shit is beautiful, simply because you're devoted. That's why everything is feeling beautiful. That is the nature of devotion. Whether it's a child or a temple or a god or a deity or a tree, it doesn't matter what. If you are devoted, your devotion will make everything beautiful because devotion is the sweetest emotion you can nurture within yourself. When your emotion is so sweet, what does it matter? You ate well, you did not eat well, you slept well, you did not sleep well, nothing matters. Everything is beautiful. This is the power of devotion. So with belief system, if you're trying to build devotion, fine, but devotion is just one step. There is no need to create another intermediate step because that intermediate step can be hugely misleading. When you believe you become right, others become wrong. A devotee never thinks like that. A devotee is never right. He knows he doesn't know a damn thing, but he just knows I'm devoted, that's all. And that is the power of devotion, that you transcend all the limitations of your own logic simply with the power of devotion, and life becomes extraordinarily beautiful. It is not that you know a thing, you may not know a thing, but it doesn't matter because the power of devotion is beyond the power of knowledge. It is. So that is not coming from your belief system, that is because your heart has melted for something. Doesn't matter what it is. It may be a child, it may be a husband, it may be a wife, it may be a tree, it may be a cause, it may be anything. But you're devoted to something. And it is best that you devote yourself to something which doesn't change much shape and form. See, you just got married, you were very devoted, but after 3 days, because what you devoted yourself to and this creature are two different things. So that is why it is best to devote yourself to a deity unchanging. Yes, it's a fantastic tool, I'm not making a joke out of it. It's a fantastic tool because it fixes one significant dimension of who you are. That is your emotion. People think they are intellectual, they are not. They're largely emotional. Emotional means they may not be dripping with love, they're angry, they're anxious, they're agitated, this is all emotion. Emotion gone bad. If you just become devoted, all these things are gone, just sweetness of your heart all the time. So devotion has that power. Do not misunderstand devotion to believing something. Believing something means you made up something in your mind and make it like a reality. No, that's not devotion. That leads to fanaticism. What is the difference? There is a big difference. One happens in your head, another happens in the level of your emotion. One is made up in the thought process, another is not made up in the thought process, it's just the way you feel. It need not be right, it need not be wrong. Devotees don't care whether something is right or wrong, all they know is they are devoted. This gives them a sense of freedom and lets them fly over all the bad terrain in their life. Yes, they don't touch any aberrations, they just fly over everything, simply because the sweetness of emotion has the power to do this. And even today, though people think and claim that they are very intellectual, still emotion is the strongest dimension in most human beings. Maybe it's not finding expression, it's gotten constipated in expression, but inside, it's roiling them all the time. They are not experiencing sense of absolute love towards everything, but they're angry towards everything, they're anxious about everything, they're tense about everything, these are all emotions.